Ravinia Festival is one of the oldest musical festivals in North America. It attracts over 600,000 listeners every summer. Welcome to Ravinia. Sitting here in front of the Martin Theater, and honored to be having a one-on-one with Nick Pullia. And we are just so excited about the 2014 season at Ravinia. Hello, good sir.
Wonderful seeing you again, Pam. Thanks for doing this.
You as well. Tell me what you do here. If people don't know you, you seem to hold this grand title.
I know. I do a lot of. I got fingers in a lot of pies here at Ravinia. It's funny. I had an opportunity to come here, and I said, Ravinia, that's a good place to work. Maybe I'll go try that for 2 years. 2 years, right? This is 15 years ago.
That's how it always happens.
It's a great place to work, and I know I'm involved in a lot of different projects here at Ravinia, so that's always exciting. Things change from a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. My department is in charge of all the creative that comes out of the park. Mm-hmm. So any commercials, promotions, contests, photographs, videos, the big brochure that announces the season every year, we do all that. Plus we talk with the media and tell Ravinia's story as best we can.
Good, that's a lot on your plate. Yeah. And this is the beginning of a new season, but before we go there, let's talk a little bit about the history of Ravinia.
Sure, Ravinia is actually the oldest festival in North America. We started in 1904, believe it or not, as an amusement park. In addition to the music stadium, we also had a baseball diamond, a dance hall, a casino building, water fountains, a carousel, and of course, you know, your hot dog and food opportunities. So there was like an overall amusement park. We were built by the Chicago-Milwaukee Electric Train Company. It was back in the day when Chicago was a hog butchered to the world. Remember that phrase? And there was no air conditioning,
right.
And the city stunk in the summertime. So people wanted to find a place where they can go up. Up here was all wooded at the time, fresh air and little cabins. And so the train company thought, well, let's build this amusement park there, and this way we'll give people a chance to get out of the city, and we can, you know, raise a little money as we build this railroad track. The company went bankrupt before the train ever reached Milwaukee, but the park became successful on its own. And over the years, it became less of an amusement park and more like a music festival that celebrates all kinds of music, from classical to jazz to pop to rock.
So is the Martin Theater a part of the original construction? Because I know that there were some things that happened between 1904 and now.
Yeah, our original pavilion actually burned down in 1949, and the one you see today is a replacement that was built that same year. We didn't miss a season. But the beautiful Martin Theater we sit in front of now, this prairie-style, beautiful theater, is the only building on the entire property that dates back to the original construction. And it seats 850 people, and it's considered one of the best places in the world to hear chamber music.
Ravinia actually started with classical music. So how do we go from Yo-Yo Ma to Frank Zappa in the same season? How does that happen? Who books the lineup for that?
Well, right now, over the years, it's been different people. In the early days, it was an amateur group of volunteers who did it. Ravinia was completely professionalized in the late 60s. And today, Wells Kaufman, our president and CEO, does all the booking on the classical and the pop side. Ravinia actually had a mix of all kinds of music from the earliest days. In fact, the very first piece of music ever played at Ravinia was Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home? And but I know what you're saying, because a lot of people think of Ravinia as having your brie and wine and listening to some Tchaikovsky under the stars, right? Yes. But we do have this other side too, and it's that side that is the part that actually raises money, that lets everything else kind of happen here at the park. And so we do have people like Frank Zappa. We had one of the final concerts by Janis Joplin. We had
amazing to see. I'm sure if you were in the audience.
Could you imagine? Because our house, the way the pavilion's built, it's shallow. It's wide and shallow. So even the back row is close. So if you're sitting in the back row, you're really seeing Janis Joplin. You don't need binoculars. You don't need a video screen. You know, so it's fantastic to have that mix. And still today, this summer we have Maxwell and we have It's Zach Perlman. In one, where else? Look at anybody else's calendar.
What did you say, Maxwell?
Yeah.
Can we just pause there for a second?
Right. Yeah, you're coming, right?
Is there still tickets?
Well, there are still some tickets left. They're going fast.
Okay.
I can probably get a press seat for you.
Oh, Nick, please. Let's focus here, okay?
And next one, this is his first time here.
Let's talk a little bit about specifically the 2014 season. When it starts, who's going to be on stage, who are going to be the biggest headliners for this year, or even just for Ravinia's history of being a headliner.
So I mentioned that Ravinia is the oldest music festival. We're also the most programmatically diverse, and we're also the longest. We actually run this year from June 5 through September 15, and that is jam-packed with over 140 separate events. So it is something going on all the time. Some of the big headliners this year include John Legend, Carrie Underwood, Tony Bennett is an annual favorite. He's been coming here for like 3 decades straight. Ramsey Lewis is going to be in the Martin Theater this year. Usually he's in the pavilion. So here's a chance to see him in a very intimate setting, which is going to be extraordinary.
And even though it seats 600 people, it's still very intimate.
Yes, it's like all of our spaces, they seem smaller than they are. We've actually had artists on the pavilion stage and say, guess how many, and these are professionals, they go to theater after theater. We say, guess how many people are in this pavilion? And they would guess like 1,200, 1,300. We tell them 3,400 sit in the pavilion. So all of our spaces are deceptively small. And this theater is usually used for classical music, so it'd be fun to see someone like Ramsey in here with
performing.
He's going to. It's called Ramsey Lewis in Story and Song. He's going to do some of his big hits and also tell a little bit about the sensational life that he had. So a great show. I love those kinds of shows where you get to learn something about the artists that you've loved all these years. And a lot of the bands that were big in the 70s are huge at Ravinia because we're kind of at that age, my age.
Don't include
you want
me.
to see, my age, where you get to see those favorites that you had growing up. Like Chicago's always big here.
Yes.
This year we have Crosby, Stills, and Nash. It's a sold-out show already.
ABBA.
We have the Temptations with the Beach Boys on a single bill. You can bring your own picnic and your own beverages, including wine.
That's one of my favorite parts of Ravinia, where you can it's so vast, but you can feel so intimate when you come here. You can bring your own goodies.
Bring your own goodies. You don't have, if you want to bring your whole family to a classical concert, you're not forced to buy a $10 stadium hot dog like you would at a museum or something. You can pack your own and give your family a day of culture for very little money. Yes. It's a wonderful thing. We do have our own dining availabilities. If you want to sit down and have a white tablecloth experience, if you want to grab a hot dog out of a window, we have all those kinds of opportunities. But to bring your own is the most popular and romantic.
Elaborate a little bit, because you wouldn't think a festival of this magnitude would even do any outreach community work, but because it's so busy, they're trying to keep up with the schedule, but it's a privilege for some children to actually be exposed to some things that they would never be exposed to in their own community. So talk a little bit about what Ravinia does with outreach programs.
Absolutely. Ravinia is very dedicated to education, music education, especially in a lot of the Chicago schools where there are no music teachers, where there are no music programs. Ravinia's Reach, Teach, Play education programs actually provides opportunities to kids at many levels in school. Our initial and perhaps most famous program is called the Jazz Scholars. This was started with Ramsey Lewis, and it actually takes the very best jazz players from all the CPS system and auditions them to be in this jazz band that becomes a working jazz band that plays real gigs and learns from the masters like Willie Pickens at the same time.
Where could
it's
you
wonderful.
find that?
In the grade schools, we have teaching artists. We start our own orchestras, El Sistema-based music orchestras for little kids in 3rd and 4th grade. And it's such a wonderful moment when we actually hand them their instrument. There's almost immediate bond. They love it. Reach, Teach, Play has become one of the most important parts of our mission. We have a very active and smart education department on staff at Ravinia that looks for opportunities to link kids to the park.
How does Ravinia maintain a successful relationship with the community, with its visitors, with the people who come to the venue every year? How are they so successful? How do they maintain a level of success?
Well, maintain is the right word. The first thing we do is we maintain this place. When you're coming here, you know you're coming to a clean, beautiful environment to experience the world's best music. We also are very communicative with our users. We let them know what's going on, what's changing, what they can expect. We also bring a broad mix of opportunities so people can have a different experience every day. You don't feel like, well, I've gone to Ravinia this summer, I'm done. Okay, you might say, oh, I've gone to the zoo this summer, I'm done. Ravinia, we change every single night.
It's ever-changing.
You haven't done Ravinia and then you're done. You can come one night on the lawn and hear the CSO. You can come one night on the lawn and hear a rock band. You can come one night in the pavilion and hear a classical artist and dine in one of the restaurants. So there's so many variables that every experience is different. If you have a first date at Ravinia, that's going to feel way different than bringing your family or bringing a corporate party.
Or your girlfriend.
Or your girlfriend. Mm-hmm. We have so many people over the years that have gotten engaged here that this year...
Any weddings?
We have weddings here too.
Wow.
This year we're actually having a kind of a photo contest where we're putting a call out to ask anybody who was ever engaged at Ravinia over the years to come together. You'll get free tickets to this concert at the end of the season, and we're going to stage the world's largest engagement party.
Wow.
So anybody who ever got engaged at Ravinia, we're going to call them all together. So it's that kind of investment. We want to hear the people side of our customers just like they want to hear the people side of our artists. We make our customers stars.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So it's been impactful over how many years?
This is our 110th anniversary.
So you impact the listeners, you impact the community. What about the artists?
The artists love Ravinia.
They love coming here.
They love coming here. Our audiences are very responsive to them. When you do a good job at Ravinia, the audience is very expressive, very loving, very giving. We don't have, some towns are like, they sit there like, what are you going to do for me now?
Right. Entertain me.
Yeah. Ravinia audiences are quick to their feet and say, we love this.
Yeah.
And the artists are treated well from the time they arrive at the O'Hare to the time they leave. So our artists and audiences alike just love coming to Ravinia. It's a great place to spend your summer.
I've been here several times, and I've been on the lawn, I've been in the pavilion. I don't have a favorite place because just being here is just a favorite place to be in the summer. And the weather has always cooperated, and it's just a lovely, lovely place. Do you have any closing remarks? Do you want to add anything? Do you want to tell anyone, how to get here, or how accessible is it?
Yeah, one of the best things about being built by a train company is that the train stops right outside of our gate. So you take the North Line from Metro, and it's so easy to get here. Just boom, and you're here. It's one train ride, and the train comes after the concerts. You don't have to worry about missing anything.
That's good.
So
it's scheduled to come after the concert.
Exactly right. So it works out perfectly in most cases. At Ravinia.org, we have all the information you need to plan a visit for you or a group of 1,000 people. It's all there. Plus, there's some fun little features as well, and lots of information about the concerts. But a good entry point for anybody is to go to our Facebook and sign up there, because there you can participate in concerts. You can participate in contests. You can learn about what's changing, last-minute program changes, last-minute additions, promotions that we do with our partner media stations and so forth. So there's all kinds of opportunities available across our media platforms as well. So visit Ravinia.org, visit Ravinia on Facebook, and you'll find a world of opportunities for you all summer long.
Thank you for the sit down.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Great.
And we'll see you here at Maxwell.
You know you will. Ravinia has a little bit of everything and a whole lot of music. So pack some good eats, head out to Ravinia. It's magical and it comes alive every summer. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.